This is Kathy Camper from Multnomah County Library School Corps with Novelties 2020s, and our topic today is privilege. If you want to look at the websites I mentioned in the opening book talks, the URL links are all listed in the notes. The first book we have today is Strange Birds, and it's for grades 4 through 7. To make some new friends, Lane DeSanti decides to form a secret scout troop, the ostentation of others and outsiders, during the summer she spends with her grandma in Sable Palms, Florida, while her parents divorce. Lane, who is white, sends out anonymous invitations to 3 other girls: Aster Douglas, a cooking aficionado who feels like her Bahamian family was cheated out of the DeSanti fortune; Cuban Ophelia Castillo, who wants to be a journalist and who is investigating the DeSanti family secrets; and Cuban-American Cat Garcia, an avid bird watcher who resents the local flora's veneration of a historic hat made of bird feathers. The 4 girls bond over a common cause: to stop the annual Flores contest to choose a Miss Flores, who will be entrusted with the ceremonial hat. Even though they have a common cause, their different class and racial backgrounds bring up issues of racism and privilege. It turns out that to be a true activist who fight for change also requires they will change how they see each other. Okay. So there's lots to discuss here. For privilege, the friendship formed between 4 girls from different backgrounds reveals privileges granted them by class, color, or race. Find some examples in the book where the girls discuss these kinds of privileges. Talk about how these kinds of privileges exist in the places where you live. For activism, Aster's grandfather says being an activist isn't like moving from one job to another or changing shirts. It's something you always are. Can you find examples of how the girls' activism embodies this idea? And for environmental, what is the Migratory Bird Act of 1918 and why did it become law? And we've got lots of websites here that are related. The authors' websites, a really good interview with Celia Perez, the author, and then a couple of sites that explain the Migratory Bird Act, and then also now, just recently, there's been changes that might endanger birds once again. A Wish in the Dark, and this is for grade 4 and up. Those with money, prestige, and power have gold lights, but those at the bottom, specifically Pong and Samkit, trapped in Namwan prison, are stuck with weak and often flickering violet globes. It all began when the governor replaced the dangerous fire people used with lights that only he could provide. When Pong escaped prison, he discovers the governors created an equally unjust class system in the world outside. Samkit is eventually freed too, but he learns how to make an alternative light source that will bring equity to the people, and he joins the resistance forces. All the while, Nok, the prison warden's diligent daughter, vows to track down Pong. But she eventually joins the People's Peaceful Revolution with Pong and Samkit when the governor's evil aims are revealed. This is an imaginative class system set up here using colored lights, and ideas of equity and social justice are intertwined with this fantasy based on Thailand culture. Each Tiny Spark for grade 4 through 7. It's hard for Amelia to concentrate. Her mom has gone on a business trip and her dad, just back from deployment, suffers from PTSD. And he's often irritable and doesn't seem to take an interest in her. On top of that, Amelia's ADHD makes it hard to concentrate in class. Her project on local tourism leads her to research that opens up issues about racism and ties into current decisions being made about school districting. Amelia's activism helps her both stand up to injustice and develop skills to reconnect with her father as they build connections as he teaches her about car repair. It also helps her to figure out how her Cuban and Yoruban roots are both part of her life in Georgia. Readers may find the book slightly confusing as it deals with many issues all at once, but it's a great example of how investigation, research, knowledge, and community all fuel activism for change. Thank you for watching this video. You can get a full list of the titles for all the Novelties videos. Find book discussion tips from Multnomah County Library. Please fill out our survey. That helps us do better and to know what helped you on this video. And find more information about School Corps.